There is a trans refugee crisis in the United States right now.
Right now.
Hundreds of thousands of trans people are fleeing their homes for safety.
Maybe just a little hyperbolic there? No hyperbole at all in that sentence, I'm sure, right? Okay, good start. Real good start. I'm sure this is just gonna be the news that everyone needs to hear from an unbiased, down the middle, telling you how it is type dude here, right? Mr. Ty Turner. Title of this video is Trans People Are Fleeing the US. State of emergency declared. We're fighting back.
And the Human Rights Campaign has officially declared a national state of emergency for LGBT plus Americans with a statement that reads,
"The Human Rights Campaign is utter trash. Leftist, regressive insanity tenfold. Them issuing a state of emergency about any fucking thing I'd take with a big fucking hefty grain of salt.
We have officially declared a state of emergency for LGBTQ plus people in the United States for the first time, following an unprecedented and dangerous spike in anti-LGBTQ plus legislative assaults."
Just that one little nugget that you got flashed right there is fucking something. That's a whole lot going on in that sentence. "We have officially declared a state of emergency for LGBTQ plus people in the United States for the first time, following an unprecedented and dangerous spike in anti-LGBTQ and legislative assaults sweeping state houses this year." Like, y'all don't know what the word fucking assault actually fucking means. Because it don't mean what the fuck y'all say it means in these sentences. Nowhere in America is a legislative branch attacking LGBTQ whatever. Y'all the most hyperbolic motherfuckers I've ever seen in my life.
Sweeping state houses this year. More than 75 anti-LGBTQ plus bills have been signed into law this year alone, more than doubling last year's number, which was previously the worst year on record.
I guess it has nothing to do with the fact that you guys have had just your foot to the floor with all the laws you're trying to get done, right? Have nothing to do with the explosion of it, or the actual just abnormal, astronomical numbers that have popped up in the last year, right? I'm sure that has nothing to do with it, right? Of course not.
Our community is in danger, but we won't stop fighting back. Not now, not ever.
Ooh, emphasis on that. Not now, not ever. They mean it.
And I have a video explaining the AntiTrans Legislation emergency in the US, so definitely check that out.
It's not a fucking emergency. Jesus Christ. Fucking hyperbole fucking overload. We ain't fucking 60 seconds into this goddamn video.
To understand what's going on here and why this is all happening. Because what we're seeing right now is the direct result of a massive coordinated attack on trans people by the right.
To every action, there's a reaction. As much as y'all have pushed and promoted and shoved this stuff down people's throats in the last 2 years, which is why you're getting your attack or assault or emergency on LGBTQ. If motherfuckers wasn't trying to push it and force feed it down people's throats as much as y'all have, you wouldn't have gotten a fraction of the assault you say you're getting. The things you're pushing for, the things you want to do, are so out of the realm of normal that you're just surprised that people are now fucking saying, hold up. No, we're not doing this.
If we look at the trans legislation tracker, we see that there have already been 560 anti-trans bills this year, 85 of which have passed. And these numbers are insane. There's literally nothing to compare it to.
There's nothing to compare it to because this is new and it's fucking never ending with y'all. That's why. That's why it's unprecedented.
And each time one of these bills passes, it threatens the lives of thousands of trans people.
Bro, that's complete fucking hyperbole.
And couple that with the false groomer narrative.
Yeah, no, because none of them are trying to shape children's minds to think that this is completely normal, right? Grooming comes in all shapes, all sizes. You could be groomed in religion. You could be groomed in politics. You could be groomed in any fucking thing that you could do. You could groom a child to fucking think sports are the biggest thing in the world. And if your argument is that nobody's trying to groom children, and that's not why the fucking rise in these children in the last couple years have turned the way they have, you're just lying to yourself.
That actively incites violence against trans people by falsely labeling us as child predators, and you can see why it is extremely unsafe for us to just exist.
Extremely unsafe for you just to exist?
In certain places. Which leads us to the current trans refugee crisis.
You have no idea how fucking insane that sounds.
Aaron Reed has a really great article on this that I'll link below, citing a recent Data for Progress survey that showed more than 40% of transgender adults have considered moving, and 8% said they have already moved, specifically because of the anti-LGBT legislation.
You mean the ones that are telling children to, we got bigger things that we could be teaching children versus getting them all mixed up in this stuff to where their identity is the only fucking thing they care about? Oh no, I'm sure you love that. The only fucking thing they think about is themselves and how they appear to the world. Let's not raise astronauts or astrophysicists or mathematicians. Let's raise self-centered little ideologues.
And because transgender people are between 0.5 and 1% of the population in the United States, that means 130 to 260,000 trans people have already fled their home states.
Survey of 1,036 LGBTQ plus adults nationally is what they used on that poll. So 1,000 people. Out of those numbers, they've made the claim that 130 to 260,000. 260,000. Like, that's a big fucking leap, dude. That's a big fucking leap if I ever fucking seen one. Like, it's impossible for that number to be right. You do know that, right? That number cannot fucking be the number. There's not fucking... You're telling me 260,000 fucking trans people have already moved because of the anti-trans laws, right?
And an additional million trans people are considering it.
Where the fuck is this math coming from? You fucking got those numbers out of that poll that was taken from 1,000 people? Oh my fucking God, yo. You wanna, like, man, we're starting that, man, bro, we're 2 minutes into this, and this is just absolute insanity in full display. A million.
Which, I mean, yeah, for many trans people in these red states, staying where they are just isn't an option. Florida is the obvious example here. It has passed so many anti-trans laws that it is basically unlivable for us.
Unlivable? Bro, fucking get off TikTok. Holy shit.
But thankfully, places like California, which was the first trans sanctuary state, and now a handful of other states, are stepping up and passing protections for trans people.
Y'all just hear that type of stuff, and it wouldn't matter what they were doing other than that. As long as they were doing that, you're with them 100%. They fucking just throw that just a little, hey man, we're a sanctuary state, come on over, man, we'll fucking take care of you. You would let them do any fucking thing else in the world that they could ever want to do, and you wouldn't even give a fuck. You wouldn't give a, you're so blinded by just the fact that you think a state is on your side. Oh, but they're on our side. No, they're not. None of these people are on your fucking side. Fucking rhetoric, platitudes, and fucking lies from these people. But let alone to think, yo, that you would imagine that the politicians of California have dictated it a sanctuary state.
Making them a destination for folks like me who are scared to leave the house.
Why would you be scared to leave the house? I'm assuming you're a trans man, but you look like a fucking man. So, like, your average motherfucker ain't gonna think you're a woman. Because it's all bullshit. All this, oh, I'm scared to leave the house shit. Bro, you've got something not ticking right in your head if you're scared to leave the house.
And even certain cities within states that have passed anti-trans laws are fighting back to protect trans people. Like Kansas City, Missouri, declaring itself a sanctuary city and passing a resolution to protect its trans citizens while being in one of the most aggressively anti-trans states.
What does that mean? Protecting trans residents. Like, you're not getting protection. It's not like if you were there that you would feel any safer to leave the house. It's the same fucking people. Anywhere you go, it's the same fucking people. What do you mean? Protect because they're gonna give you all the shit, yo, that you want? If your parents ain't with it, they'll fucking give it to you? And you think that's beneficial to yourself, huh?
There are other cities doing this, and there are a lot of civil rights and trans activist groups that are pushing for this in more places. So it's great that this is happening, but it's just ridiculous that this even needs to happen.
You think ain't nobody fucking thought about this shit other than you? You just got it in your head where it's either your side or a bigoted Republican GOP fear-mongering liar or something? That's definitely not it.
It's not a fix. It's barely a band-aid when you consider that trans people are more likely to struggle financially, and the US is in the middle of a housing crisis.
What aren't trans people at risk of higher doing more of or less of or having trouble more of? This affects trans people more. This hurts trans people more. Trans people have more financial problems. Trans people are this more. Trans people are that more. Like, y'all are fucking just the most self-centered fucking
along with inflation. So for a rural trans person out in the middle of a red state, quitting their job and moving to a city where housing is already limited to begin with, and if they do find a place, it's going to be double the price of what they were paying before, it's just not realistic.
You think you're the only one that would encounter that issue if you wanted up and move? So just anybody who isn't trans is in a better predicament to up and move to a city where the housing is double. Any and everybody in 2023 America. It's expensive. It's not easy. It's a pain in the fucking ass. It's a whole lot to it. It's not just fucking hard on trans people to fucking up and move. Y'all took this cross on yourselves. Nobody put this cross on your fucking back. It's your burden that you've created, that you've maintained, that you want. You want this cross on your back. You have y'all love that shit. Being able just to, oh, well, I'm trans. And you know, trans people have harder times doing all this stuff, right?
And even for the trans people who can afford to flee, they're having to uproot their lives and leave their community, their friends, and their families, just to find a place where they can exist peacefully.
Okay, hold on. So they're leaving communities with all their friends and families to go to a place where there is no friends and families because the laws are different, letting children do stuff? Because it's not like, yo, there's like all these crazy fucking laws that y'all have in your head that are just these insane fearing for my life law. That's not a thing. That's y'all just being hyperbolic about the laws that people are putting into place. Because it's fucking wrong to trans a child. It is wrong. You could fucking read any fucking poll study you fucking want in the world. But fucking giving a goddamn child in the midst of puberty blockers, is fucking bordering on evil. But I just imagine, like, you're leaving your friends, your family, and your community. So it sounds like not a bad place to be, but you would go somewhere else not knowing anybody with all the financial struggles and all that stuff that comes with moving because the state is saying, yo, that's not trans children.
As many of you know, last year Christy and I had to flee our home, not because of the trans stuff, but because my neighbor pulled a gun on us because he thought I put my trash can in his yard.
I don't believe you. I just don't believe you. That he just pulled a gun on you just because you put your trash can on his lawn. Oh, sorry, dude.
America.
How many fucking neighbors you had, bro? 2? It's not America. Like, when you got neighbors, bro, it's a risk. Like, they might be cool, they might not. They might be really fucking cool. They might be really fucking terrible. It's not just America. You go fucking any goddamn where in the world, you fuck around and be living next to a fucking dickhead who's just an asshole. I know it's gonna suck living next to an asshole, but that does happen. You got a fucking world with 7 goddamn billion people on it. Some of them are fucking assholes. If moving from that old place was best for you and your partner, awesome, good. I mean, at least you fucking threw the fact out there that it wasn't because you were trans. But then again, you moved to a place where you're scared to leave the house? Were you not scared to leave the house with the neighbor that pulled the gun on you? Or you were, but that wasn't because you were trans. It was, like you said, for a trash can. But then you moved to a place where you're now scared to leave the house.
And then he had his family members creeping around on our property while we weren't home, like taking pictures of our cars and shit. His wife found Christy on Instagram and was trying to harass her. Like, it was a whole thing.
Okay. Your fucking title of this video is Trans People Are Fleeing the U.S.
So we immediately had to drop everything and find a safe place to live. That meant moving and storing all of our stuff and living out of bags.
Was that the first time you ever fucking moved or something? It sucks. Fucking moving sucks. Like, there's no fucking easy way around it. Trans or not trans. Any fucking body's gotta up and move. Fucking that's life. Life sucks sometimes. Try and make it fucking better around you.
While we hop between temporary places to stay. And thankfully we had family to help us through this because the cost and the stress of moving with no notice, it's a lot.
With notice, without notice, with family, without family, things can make it easier, sure. But either fucking which way, bro, it sucks.
So just considering trans people who are on their own, trying to make that leap across the country, it's just not something you can expect a lot of people to be able to do. So obviously the solution here is to make all of the states safe for trans people.
How do you plan on making all the states safe for trans people? How the fuck do you plan on doing that? You plan on legislating safety for trans people statewide? Oh, I'm sure you believe you can.
By stopping these laws altogether. And thankfully, that is actually starting to happen. Right now, federal judges across the US are blocking trans healthcare bans, deeming them unconstitutional. In Florida, Arkansas, Kentucky, and Tennessee, civil rights organizations have sued the states over these laws and actually won.
And those are all temporary holds. Those are temporary in a sense of you can't fucking block it forever. And in your same article, thank you for actually putting fucking some sources in your video. But in that article, it showed 20 other states that had already followed through with the laws that you're trying to prevent. So sure, there are always going to be people fighting against changes that they don't want changed. States are still following through with this stuff. There's still states making laws to prevent children from going on puberty blockers.
I'm delighted to report that these judges are actually listening to medical experts. Okay, they're looking at the facts.
A couple of these selected on line 253 to line 256. So there was 252 lines before this. The harms are severe and irreparable for adolescents with gender dysphoria who need but are unable to access gender-affirming medical care. Line 254. The fact that transgender adults face elevated rates of physical and mental health issues due to stigma, discrimination, and having lived with gender dysphoria is not a reason to deny treatment to adolescents with gender dysphoria. If anything, it supports the need for access to treatment. No, it does not. There's like correlation, causation, all that. You know what I mean? You know exactly what the fuck I mean. That don't make the two fucking work. Denying gender-affirming medical care to adolescents with gender dysphoria until they reach age 18 means their bodies would go through irreversible pubertal changes inconsistent with their gender identity. It's so hard for me to imagine the person who thinks blocking a child's puberty is more valuable than puberty itself. Puberty is far more valuable than any sort of temporary mental relief that they get from taking cross-sex hormones.
They're doing their jobs, the jobs that these lawmakers that passed these laws failed to do, and they are not fucking around. They are debunking lies, calling out bigotry.
This is a politically fraught area. There has long been and still is substantial bigotry directed at transgender individuals. Common experience confirms this, as does a Florida legislator's remarkable reference to a transgender witness at a committee hearing as mutants and demons. So what? Like, fucking people call you names, so fucking what? And even when not based on bigotry, there are those who incorrectly but sincerely believe that gender identity is not real, but instead just a choice. This is, as noted above, the elephant in the room. Where there is bigotry, there are usually, one hopes always, opponents of bigotry. It is hardly surprising that doctors who understand that transgender identity can be real, not made up, doctors who are willing to provide supportive medical care, oppose anti-transgender bigotry. The words you motherfuckers use is just so convoluted and so fucking muddy in the waters of every fucking word you twist and fucking spin around. Try and show this world that you're not fucking living in. Like, you motherfuckers, like, talk about you're scared to leave a fucking house. Anybody could fucking use that rationale and be afraid to leave their house for some reason or another. Motherfuckers want to fucking just live and breathe. Everything that's fucking just insane can do it. You're a fucking great example of it.
It is so refreshing. My favorite so far is from the Florida case where Judge Hinkle straight up called them hypocrites when the state claimed that all the major medical organizations...
The entire section is worth reading in the original court document. The state argued that every major medical organization is biased in approving gender-affirming care. Meanwhile, they taped doctors from organizations like the American College of Pediatrics, a fake science organization known for supporting conversion therapy. Gender-affirming care is conversion therapy. There's no other way of fucking looking at it. You are conversioning the fuck out of your body. You don't like it the way it is, so you're going to do extra fucking curricular things to change it. And you're not going to change it into what you think you're going to change it into. You're going to change some fucking surface level bullshit that might make you look a little bit less like the gender you actually fucking are. That's your best case scenario. But meanwhile, you're stunting the growth of half of your fucking body. Your bones, fucking muscles, your organs, all that shit gets stunted. All of it.
The judge said, if ever a pot called a kettle black, it is here.
Bro, your fucking title of your video is Trans People Are Fleeing the U.S. You ain't even talked about nobody fucking leaving the goddamn U.S. yet. Talked about a study with 1,000 people and fucking some small percentage of them said that they want to move. That's not, like, get the fuck out of here, you and the human rights campaign bullshit.
The statute and rules were an exercise in politics, not good medicine. Boom.
Boom. It's politics, not good medicine. It's all trans, man. We can all fucking be the other gender.
That's what the fuck I like to hear. He had a lot of great things to say. Aaron Reed made a top 5 list of his best remarks, so definitely check that out, as well as her coverage of the other cases, linked in the description below. And I also want to note that the Tennessee judge was literally appointed by Trump.
He was literally appointed by Trump. Oh my God, you'd almost think maybe no matter who appoints the judges, sometimes they come up with different ideas. And that they're not some fucking cookie cutter fucking replacement for the person who put them there. Not everybody's gonna always think the same or see the same way. We have different thought processes. We come to different conclusions when faced with evidence and the shit surrounding the situation. Y'all always love bringing that up as if it's some big fucking point or something. Trump appointed him. Boom, he said.
And it's still like, nah, like this shit's too far. That feels good.
What's too far? You haven't even shown what too far is. There is no too far that you've shown. You haven't backed anything up with any sort of like the shit making these claims up. You just show these fucking sentences of this judge said this. This judge was a fucking appointed by Trump. And there we go. Yeah. Guess that means trans things are totally fucking not anti-science.
The science.
Like, people are waking up, actually looking at this and seeing how insane this shit is.
You haven't shown what is insane. Like, I guess we just infer that it's anything not on your side. Anything that's not fucking with me 100%. That's the insane shit, right?
So that's a huge step in the right direction. Progress is being made, but there's still a long way to go as many anti-trans laws are still in place and more continue to pass. As it currently stands, many trans people are not safe in their home states.
Define not safe. What the fuck does not safe mean? Oh man, they're just not safe. What does that mean? What does not safe fucking mean?
And I know, just from my own personal conversations, that a lot of trans people are not feeling safe in the US in general, and are considering leaving the country altogether.
Oh my God, people are gonna leave the country. I guess that's pretty nice that you have that option, I guess. I mean, unless they're just saying that they would like to, and aren't. And they're just going to just live their fucking lives any goddamn way.
And to be honest, myself included, Christy and I have had some serious discussions about our plans for the future. And we're very realistically considering, instead of moving to New Mexico after our wedding in the fall like we had planned, just dipping out and trying to backpack through Europe until all of this blows over.
Wait a second. So not 4 minutes before, you moving to another state was hard, and thankfully you had friends and you were living out of bags and all that. It was just so terrible. But now you're thinking you're going to go backpack through Europe. All this stuff clears over. Just go take a little 2-month fucking vacation through Europe backpacking, and then ta-da! All our laws are law now. So yes, let's fucking go back to America.
So we'll see how it goes. Y'all might be getting some extended travel vlogs pretty soon.
No thanks.
But hopefully common sense prevails and we can all just go back to existing in our lives as trans people.
You think you're just existing means that everybody has to fucking agree with you and have no fucking disagreements whatsoever with your thoughts and what you think is the right thing. That's what just existing means to you. Hopefully common sense prevails. If common sense prevails, we won't be doing none of the fucking shit you want to do. 0.0.
I'm very curious if you are a trans person in one of these states and you have either considered moving or you already have moved either to another state or even out of the country. Let me know your story. What's going on? How is it all working?
This dude here, Ty, was actually one of the first people who actually put that study. I use that term very loosely, but he's one of the first people who actually put that study underneath his video with the trans people are 4 times more likely to be victims of violent crime. That is one of the most bootleg bullshit fucking studies I've ever seen in my life. I've seen a lot of dumb fucking bullshit unnecessary studies. That study is top fucking 5 worst fucking studies on the planet. It wasn't off crime. It was asking people, hey, in the last year, have you been hurt? You have. Okay, did you call the police? Okay, no, you didn't. Okay, so why were you hurt? Oh, okay, so a guy hit you in the face. Okay, do you think it was because you were trans? Oh, you do? Oh, okay. Okay, so do you think it was a hate crime? Oh, you do? Okay, put them down. Put them down. We got one. Let's call somebody else. That's how they got that number. That trans people are 4 times more likely to be victims of violent crime with asking people if something happened to them before and the reasons why they think it happened. That's how they got that number. It's not off crime reports. It's not on anything other than somebody claiming that I was hurt and I was hurt for this fucking reason. You're fucking scared to leave the house? Get off TikTok. Stop listening to people like this guy. Like, if this guy's ready to start go backpacking across Europe, you think this motherfucker's worried about any goddamn thing? Not worried about nothing. It's all fucking fear-mongering, hyperbole, fucking rhetoric. It's so defeating to anybody who would hear that and is going through any of this stuff as a child. God forbid, you are a 15, 16, 17-year-old child that's going through some of this stuff, and you hear this guy, you would imagine that the whole fucking country's against you, and they're not. 8 out of 10 motherfuckers don't care nothing about you, don't care what you do, more power to you, exist. Are completely okay with you just existing. That is the fucking reality of America in 2023. You can just exist. Just go exist. Stop trying to force shit down people's throats that don't fucking want it, or think it's a bad idea, or calling them a bigot because of it. Why don't you just go backpack across Europe till it all fucking blows over? And I don't care. I don't need no travel vlog, so